It wasn't because they deserved to be punished. It's because Miriam. But when the way they processed it is because God is denying us water. So why is he denying us water? It's a reflection. Evidently, we have a problem. You understand? If it's a schus, you need a special schus. Okay, you mispal HaKadosh Baruch Hu should reinstate the water. You don't become frantic. You need a special schus. All along we have the schus. It's not because we were failing. You need that special schus. But if they saw it lo yamayim lo eido, maybe there's a reflection on us. Now we have a problem. Where did you take us? Took us in the desert to die? Because if not, why doesn't your schus cover? Right? So evidently we're not deserving. We're not deserving. So therefore it's a reflection on them. So therefore what did he say to Moshe and Aaron? V'yora v'om in Moshe. They quarreled with Moshe, and it says ha'om. Now they're no longer Bnei Yisrael. Now they've already fallen from that special level. V'yora v'om. It doesn't mean all of them, but it means in Moshe v'yomer lo leimor lu gavanu begva achenu fnei Hashem. We should have died the way our brothers died before Hashem. We said, Rashi already said the whole previous generation died off. This is the new generation. They said we should have died. Rashi, Lu gavanu halvai kshe gavanu begvav achenu. B'misas achenu badever. It's Gemara, what Rashi cites here. Lo me'chemishet somim begudim imenu. Person dies in a plague, go to sleep, as it says. The Gemara says, Bav Basra, they would lie, go to sleep, and then dig these trenches. And then in the morning they'd say, "He bodlo achayim min hamesim," let the living separate from the dead, and they would just cover them over. That's how they did it. But to die of thirst, dying of thirst is worse than dying of plague. Bigva, shem dover, okay. So therefore, lo yamayim lo edo. It's not just not lo yamayim. Therefore, that was a basis. And what do they say after that? Okay. Now, let's understand something. This is already the 40th year in the desert. Why did you take us in the desert to die? And we already made it through, we're in the 40th year already, right? 40 years ago, why did you bring us into the desert? Well, nearly 40 years ago. That's the complaint. Many of them weren't even born yet, these people. Why did you take lo musham anachnu bireinu? That's separate. You want to talk about your own life is one thing. Ubireinu and our donkeys. Right? You worry about the donkey. Or Chaim HaKadosh says something interesting. He says, "V'yoravam v'lu gavanu." We should have died. I mean, he says something interesting. The only people died were people who were between 40 and 60. Why did the others also die? So they said, you know why? Because Moshe was misspelled. They shouldn't have died with Dever. He says, you know something? You shouldn't have prayed for us. That's what they were saying. Because now, how are we going to die? We're going to die with thirst. So, you think, did you do us a favor? The only reason why we didn't die, it's interesting. It's not, they didn't believe the original decree. They believed the decree was everyone, even people below the age of 20. Why did we die mispala? We shouldn't have died bedever. So what's our predicament? We're going to die of thirst. It's worse to die of thirst than die as a result of dever. But let's look at something else. If a person is able to live, let's say, 30 years in relative good health, productive, even though he knows the way he's going to die 30 years later is going to be a more difficult death than 30 years earlier, what would he prefer? 30 good years of productivity or you prefer to wait to pass on that, to die in his sleep than die a more painful death later? Right? Seemingly, you'd say 30 years is 30 years. These people say, you know something, we should have died with Dever. What do you mean? But you're alive. So let's say now it's worse. It's worse now. It's a worse death. Therefore what? But factually, you've been alive. You say, why did you die? But Dever, because he was mispal. Okay, good. But you're alive. So all the time you're alive, it has value. So what's the complaint? If it's a question now, dying now, A or B, I would have preferred A over B. You shouldn't have prayed for me. We're not talking about A and B where it's the same moment. We're talking about this is years earlier. Every year people died with Dever. Yeah, but they're all not the same age. They're not the same age. See, no, everybody died exactly that year, a year later, right? Yeah, that's the way it went.